York had a soundtrack, it would undoubtedly be jazz music, with legends from Billie Holiday to Duke Ellington making their names here. But the city's jazz scene is not just ancient history, as the annual Winter Jazz Fest is proving.
It's not so hard to put together a series like this because of the crop of talent that is at our disposal, that is, here on the scene. It would be harder to do it in another city that doesn't have this richness of talent.
Bryce Rosenblum started the festival 12 years ago when he noticed that despite New York's international reputation as a city for jazz, there was a pool of talent not getting the recognition he thought they deserved.
The idea was to highlight what was really happening on the scene today in New York with jazz music and groups that we felt were underrepresented and not exposed well enough to arts presenters that were in town in New York during the Arts Presenters Conference, or APAP, which always happens in early January. And every year we were able to sell out and grow the festival.
It grew from a one-night event to a multi-venue 5-day festival that's become known as one of the biggest jazz happenings in North America. And it's not just emerging talents on show now, but established greats like Colin Stetson, a talented saxophonist who hit the world stage while performing with Canadian rock band Arcade Fire.
It was the first opportunity that I ever had to be in front of those kinds of audiences. Just the massive feeling that like being in front of 100,000 people is. And I thought, no, I mean, at that point, none of us had done that before. So it was and still is like, just a powerful, like singular experience in my life, and something that you don't shake off.
Stetson says those types of collaborations between jazz musicians and pop artists are helping give performers like himself new platforms.
The kinds of influences that go into different indie rock music and hip hop music and R&B and everything, it's so cross-pollinated at this point that it's nothing like it was before. And so I always think that that's a positive, just because with more access comes more opportunity, and that's what we have now.
An opportunity both for the artist and for audiences, with many attending this year's Winter Jazz Fest coming to experience new types of music.
Yes, there's people here who are not complete jazz listeners who might be curious. I kind of started with hip hop and moved into jazz, just like over the past 2 or 3 years, like finding like hip hop artists I like, and then finding the samples they use, and that really kind of inspired me to get more into jazz.
I think when it crosses over, I think it helps jazz or experimental music, because I don't really think that people think of it in a narrow sense. I think they think about it in a more sort of broad sense. Because I almost think the word jazz kind of has a connotation to it.
New York City has long been proclaimed one of the jazz capitals of the world, home to iconic clubs and musicians. And festivals like this are attracting new and younger audiences, ensuring the Big Apple's jazz score will continue to be heard. Jade Barker, TRT World, New York.